Even if I spoke the language of men and spoke the language of angels, without love, I would be nothing. But what is love? Since the ancient Greeks, this is a question that humanity has tried to answer. For the American psychologist Sternberg, it would be a pyramid composed of three parts: commitment, passion, and intimacy. It is possible to combine, for example, commitment and intimacy and achieve a friendship, due to the lack of that heat of passion, or to combine intimacy and passion and have a web relationship perhaps, due to the lack of commitment and grounding in reality. But in MBTI, it would be like saying that opposites attract, at least in part. If you're watching this video, you probably know what MBTI is, and maybe even seen it on the internet at least, or even this table here, which shows the relationship pairs between these 16 personality types. Using only the letters, it is to say that introverts and extroverts fit with each other, and judgers with perceivers. Now, what is the scientific basis of this business? Well, quite high actually. B.F. Skinner is a psychologist that spoke of the operant conditioning, with positive and negative reinforcements being used to create certain types of behaviors. While through to the research of Dr. John Gottman, we know that the relationships that have 10 positive interactions and only one negative tend to end due to the lack of novelty, while those that have 5 negative interactions for one positive, they also tend to end for the opposite reason. It is too much of a negative relationship. So we start seeing this necessity of balance for relationships to work. And this is not something new. In the Symposium, Plato tells us of this Greek idea that we look in others that which we lack in ourselves, and that men and women were made as one originally. But then we were separated by Zeus with a lightning strike, and since then we pursue in this other person this part which is lacking of us, and is also the reason why we have butt cracks. It is very interesting to read. So we start seeing this necessity of balance in relationships to work, and this is not something new. In the Symposium, Plato tells us this Greek idea that we look for what we lack in others, and that men and women were made as one, and for being separated by Zeus, we pursue in other person that part which is lacking in us. It is also seen in the Chinese concepts of yin and yang, which is not the same as Taoism. It is the idea that opposites complement each other. It is the same as using matching icons on Discord perhaps. And if you've never done that before, you don't know what truly love is. Anyway, in many ways, love is often to be seen as this duality. And in the MBTI, it is no different. Jung himself, or this analytical psychology he made, it is completely based on this idea of duality. And he spoke of how we should incorporate the opposite aspects in ourselves, as we've seen in other videos. Even so, love does not only exist, on the contrary, because there still needs to be similarities for the relationship to move forward. If these two people are only different, this may generate some initial attraction, but it ends up not having much basis to continue it forward. Therefore, the MBTI also provides an answer to this. Intuitive types tend to get along better with the other intuitive types. That is, people who are highly open to experience and abstract ideas will likely prefer other people like this too, because they have interests and worldviews in common. An ENTP, for example, and INTJ are opposites in extroversion and organization, but they are similar in intuitive perception and valuing the intellect over emotions, although they can also get along with INFJs, for example. But what matters here are the primary and dominant functions. On one side, there's dominant extroverted intuition. At the other, there's dominant introverted intuition. So ENTPs and ENFPs like to explore different ideas, while INTJs and INFJs like to give depth to them. And because both are dominant intuitives, they will value these abstract ideas much more than the physical reality of things per se. Some couples like this would be Rintaro and Cariso from Steins Gate. Sasuke and Naruto from Naruto Shippuden, Plato and Socrates, Nietzsche and Socrates, Batman and the Joker. Maybe Zendaya to Holland? I don't know. Maybe the creator of Persona 3, 4, 5, and me, and also Jesus Christ and Satan, because why not? Among many others, of course. INFPs and ISFPs, on the other hand, get along better with ENFJs and ESFJs. While these types have dominant introverted feeling, that is, these very personal emotions, the other types, the ESXFJs, with dominant extroverted feeling, to help these FI dominants to express themselves better and be more open, so to speak. Great couples of these personalities are Chat Noir and the wonderful Ladybug, Tanjiro and Zenitsu from Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mike and Eleven from Stranger Things, Marjorie Tyrell and Tommy from Game of Thrones, Irif and Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, Wendy, Tessa Burger and Stan from South Park, Miyamura and Homi from Horimiya. This is a great anime, by the way. INTPs and ISTPs are the same thing. They have dominant introverted thinking. They value rationality, intellect, and detachment much more than emotions, very similar to those who are dominant extroverted thinking, or TE. An interesting thing that happens from this is that because IXTPs are lazy as hell, the compulsive need to work from the EXTJs could help these TI dumps to do better or to know how to better use their skills, while TI dumps could better help TE dominants to take a break and think first before acting and acting non-stop. Some couples of this type are Irene Adler and Sherlock from the series, Elle and Kira from Death Note, Jotaro and Dio from JoJo, Cebolinha and Frangina, Goots and Griffith, Tomozaki and Hinami from Tomozaki-kun. IXSJs with dominant introverted sensing, SI, get along best with those with dominant extroverted sensing, SE, both of whom value sensations over fantasies and role-playing. So they are much more direct and practical, so to speak. The SI dominants who enjoy more personal experience could benefit greatly from the ESXPs' love of adventure. Both highly value the body and the reality, but in different ways, while ISXJs value the internal and the subjective and personal experience more. The ESXPs like to what is out there, what appears, the phenomenology of things, so to speak. Some couples of this type are Yumiko and Ryota from Kakegurui, Peter Quill and Gamora, Homer Simpson and Marge, and even Tyler Durden with the narrator of Fight Club. Now,